Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on identifying and owning narcissist boundary violation. When it comes to this channel here, I'm all about understanding the cause that creates this effect of pain and suffering in individuals who have found themselves in relationships or engagement with those people who are narcissistic or psychopathic. So basically, even those are completely different types of situations, there's it's on a really a spectrum. If you will explain how the woundedness is sort of created or instilled in others, and then how it proliferates throughout their life, how it manifests, what it looks like, what it does, what are its characteristics. So like with a client that I was previously working with, she's like, and a lot of viewers actually have stated this to me, it's like they are all using the same playbook. And it's like there are patterns to the wounding that you can identify and own. But oftentimes there is a lot of resistance, I would find, to people who are able to really own this. So knowing that to be the case, if we understand then narcissism and psychopathy, narcissists, who have a pathological sense of self-importance coupled with a lack of empathy, a psychopath, who's even, there's more aberrant behavior, and they're very devoid of emotion and sort of conscience. They don't, they're very high risk takers. They don't really have any moral pangs about hurting people. So it gives them this situation where they're able to commit grave hurts and harm unto others and not feel bad at all. They will never apologize for their indiscretions, their trespasses. They will not feel bad. They will, they will identify that other people maybe will get in trouble or that they experience that. But for them, they just go, oh, well, that's their person's problem if they can't get over it. So a psychopath is very interesting in that they don't, they're not really affected by consequences, which means, they really don't, if they're going to lose somebody or hurt somebody, that has no bearing on their behavior. So people have felt themselves in position where they have no bearing, they have no influence, they have no impact. They don't have any recourse. They're not able to address and work through this wound. They don't have a way. It's just, they just are stuck, or what I would say a lot of my viewers experience, they're feeling stuck. They're feeling blocked in the wound. So it's the woundedness, this hurt, the cause has been created by this effect of boundary violation, and what I also feel is boundaries and standard violation of another individual, another human being, which because of this impact creates a loss of agency, a loss of autonomy, a loss of I am from the get-go. When this person begins to have this or engage with this type of relationship for some time, which means it's not just a one-off, but in other words, this has reoccurred and been for a lot of people, a staple or a mainstay in their life. So when we're looking at identifying a narcissist, realize that they have a sense of entitlement. I want this, so I'm going to have it. I want the big piece. I don't care if, you guys don't have, that. I can just, talk this way, and other people are just going to have to put up with it. So they might be very crude, crass, use vulgar language, talk, it's just sort of one directional talk where people don't want to go, yeah, that's inappropriate. They just sort of don't call the narcissist out because of this entitlement just the way that they are, usually if you, say, but what about me? Or what about this? Usually they'll give you some sort of condescending, oh, either that's too mushy, that's too sensitive, it's not going to happen. So in other words, they will downplay or extinguish your experience, or really sort of annihilate it, which means put it out, just basically not validate it. So we're talking about psychological boundary violation. And when you are not sort of validated, which means eye contact from a human, listening from a human, presence from a human, their hearts, their minds, they're not registering it with you. They're not there. They're not getting it. They're not connected. They're not at the level. So for a narcissist, realize that because of their grandiosity, their entitlement, they don't have to stoop. They don't have to acknowledge and validate. They can just get a beeline to whatever it is that they want. And if you have some dirt kicked in your face, well, then that's where you're at, and you just have to wipe the dirt out of your eyes. But what if that dirt gets stuck? What if that dirt goes very far in and you have a plank in your eye, as they say, I think in the Bible or something like that? I don't even know. But in other words, there's this continual chronic pain, suffering, not able to be acknowledged or validated. So it's like an undiagnosed cancer that will proliferate and grow. And the pain will grow unless it is identified and validated and owned by the other individual who has been wounded. But the narcissist, the psychopath, will not acknowledge that you are wounded. So it becomes this big gaslight. You have no right to be hurt. You have no right to cry. Just put up with it. Go and just walk into the fire. Go and just get eaten by the lions. Just go ahead and jump into the pool of battery acid. Just go ahead. Just do it. It's like Nike, but in the wrong direction. It is not supportive. It's not like, yeah, you can do that jump throw and coach you to that. It's, in other words, just shut up, I think is basically, and then they feel that they have to put the narcissist and the psychopath, because of their judgment, will generally feel that they have to put up with others. If you are not pleasing to them, it's usually because you are in the way of something that they want to do for themselves. They do not want to do the work. They do not want to take the time. They do not want to think about it. They do not want to correct something. They do not feel that they need to adjust anything. It's not important. It's too late. We're not doing that. So they will give an ultimatum, and usually a narcissist will dig their heels in. They'll dig deeper stakes. They'll shine their nails. They'll get out their nail file and they'll just show you, who's going to do the pitching of the S around here. In other words, there is no recourse to communication. It's just, that is all. In other words, you are being abused. Just put up with it. That is a very tough pill to swallow, and a lot of people find that problematic. To have somebody tell you to put up with abuse and just keep going. This becomes very problematic for people because they are not then understanding. They are sort of engaging with erroneous sort of commands, if you will. It's like a computer. If you, just accept the viruses, that computer might not work very well for you. So it's kind of like that is the the experience. It creates mayhem. In my studies, they had talked about, neuroganglia, that were just sort of, just like when you get a carpal tunnel and you get like a painful and it doesn't move very well. It's kind of like that, I would say, for people's emotions. It's very stiff. It hurts to, the woundedness, after this. They feel very inflexible when it comes to expressing and feeling that they are validated and then owning this sort of in its sense, in its balanced sense. So realize that this is oftentimes at the hands of judgment. And then the psychopath, because really they interpret everyone else as being weak. You have emotions. Look at that. You need to go and stop and get flowers. What a waste of time. You really got suckered in. Why are you getting a card? Why are you getting chocolates? Why would you need to give someone a kiss? Why would you take them out, put on some candles? So in other words, to the psychopath, they have no interest in this unless it gets them something what they want. It's not because they want romance, they want love, they want connection.